Although I didn't unlock the splits in 30 days, I definitely achieved my goal of getting more flexible and going from this to this. I also learned a whole lot along the way, which could help you avoid many of the same setbacks I made and fast track your own progress. Getting more flexible has been on my list for a while. As always, the hardest step is the first one, so let's make a start and we can learn along the way. I jumped into things by performing a light warm-up of 5 exercises. This helps to prime the muscles, joints, ligaments and tendons for more challenging activity, which helps in the prevention of injury. I can't stress the importance of a good warm-up when first starting out, as your muscles might be tighter than you expect, meaning it will take time and patience to achieve your full range of motion. After the warm-up, I jumped into 5-minute holds. You can see from the video that just during this 5 minutes, I gained quite a bit of depth on my splits. Unfortunately, this is just an acute adaptation from the body getting comfortable in a deeper position that went away over the course of the day. It's kind of like a pump in resistance training rather than an accurate measure of progress. I felt really good after my first session. A good flexibility workout kind of makes it feel like the tension has temporarily been removed from your muscles and you can access true relaxation for a little while. The second day, I followed the exact same process. However, by the end of the session, I could feel that if I continued with the 5-minute holds for the full 30 days, then it would probably lead to an injury. Alright, day 2, but I'm realizing I probably need to go back to the drawing board and research a little bit about flexibility, because I have a lot of experience with yoga and mobility, but not a lot of experience with flexibility. I definitely underestimated how taxing flexibility training really is, especially when trying to balance calisthenics, Muay Thai and tennis training throughout the week as well. While flexibility does complement these sports, it kind of feels like you're fighting an uphill battle as the fatigue compounds. So after this session, I took things back to the drawing board and did some research to see if there were any measures I could take to make this a smoother process. The key takeaways were to use an anterior pelvic tilt with a proud chest when performing the side split. To do this, roll your hips forward, push your chest out, and externally rotate your feet. This posture frees up the hips so you can achieve full depth. If there is no pelvic tilt, or worse, posterior pelvic tilt, then the hips will jam and you'll never exceed beyond a certain point. Incorporate both straight and bent leg abductor stretches. The abductor attaches at your hips and at your knees, so incorporating a good mix of bent and straight leg abductor stretches is important to ensure that you build the flexibility required to achieve the middle splits. PNF, or proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, is also a useful tool when looking to bypass the stretch reflex. The stretch reflex occurs at a certain depth. Your muscles will contract to prevent your body from overstretching and injuring the surrounding areas. To bypass this reflex, use the contract and relax method to teach your muscles that the new range of motion is safe. This means doing roughly 6 seconds in a contracted position, followed by 6 seconds where you relax deeper into the stretch. For the side splits, grip the floor with your feet and pull them in to contract the abductors. Repeat the contract-relax method 5 times throughout the set, with 60 seconds rest after the set is done. Do this for a total of 5 sets. For front splits, pull the heel into the ground with slight knee bend, using the same process of 6 seconds contraction, followed by 6 seconds relaxing into the pose for the full set. The final piece of advice that came up time and time again throughout my research was to work at around a 7 out of 10 intensity level. Your body needs to get used to relaxing into the new pose and getting comfortable with the position rather than fighting against it, as you're working too intensely and provoking injury. One of the best ways you can ensure that you'll get more flexible over time is to avoid injury. This will allow you to be more consistent and not deal with losing progress while recovering and rehabilitating the injury. Working within your ability level and making small, consistent progress over time is key when it comes to longevity. After learning these techniques, I adapted my sessions to incorporate all that I'd discovered. It also became apparent that flexibility training shares many of the same principles as resistance training. Flexibility is hypertrophy for the length of the muscles, while resistance training is hypertrophy for the width of the muscles. You also have periods of time under tension, followed by times of rest and recovery. Throughout my session, it was noted that 5-minute holds are great for more advanced flexibility practitioners. However, beginners can benefit just as much through breaking the 5-minute time frame up into 1-minute blocks with 1 minute rest in between. You have the same amount of total time under tension, it's just broken up into more manageable bite-sized chunks. This is similar to the way we break down any large task into small manageable steps. During these 1-minute holds, I also started incorporating some PNF training by contracting the active muscle for 6 seconds, then relaxing for 6 seconds. As stated before, this is to help my body disengage the stretch reflex and allow me to get deeper in the pose. Although this upped the intensity a degree, I honestly enjoyed it as it felt similar to doing repetitions in resistance training. Incorporating these basic flexibility principles made a world of difference. I've tried to get flexible many times before, but as a wise man once said, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Through incorporating some training principles such as the PNF contract and relax method, refining technique through incorporating pelvic tilt and adjusting posture, and of course being consistent with whatever program you choose to follow, you will over time improve your flexibility. You might not get the splits in a month, but remember, that's just an arbitrary goal. The important part is that you're making progress in a sustainable, safe and effective manner. I hope you took some lessons away from this video that you can apply to your own training to fast track results and avoid injury. As always, leave any questions, comments or abuse down below. Cheers.